back to another episode of Musings podcast. I'm your host, Gungu Mildred, and I'm so happy that you have joined me on another Wednesday for another amazing episode. Today, this movie is going to be controversial because it was banned in Kenya a while ago, and the courts ruled that it was illegal to have banned it back in 2018, and so that ruling was overturned in either January or February this year. So a lot of people are not going to want to watch it, and I'm going to give you the disclaimer right now before I start talking about it, before I get so deep into it, because I don't want you to say that I did not warn you. So it's LGBTQ plus and it's Kenyan. So if you think that God loves you more because you are straight, I'll urge you to just not listen to this. Don't just today get out. Go back, do something else. Do not listen to this because I'll urge you to go and watch it. And if you cannot fathom watching anything LGBTQ plus coded, you will not like this. So just leave. Another thing to tell you before I start today's movie is that Aki Kenyan movies, as I've said before, they're no longer good ones on Netflix. Actually, they're good, but they're mostly political and all of that. I know you only act what you know, and Kenyan movies are usually like tied around politics, most of the ones on Netflix especially. And I don't want to watch them. So I've written a couple of movies that I'm going to be watching. The day that I'm supposed to watch the Kenyan movie, I'll be watching Queen of Katwe. It's not Kenyan, it's from Uganda, but yeah. And then I also thought about watching The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. So that one is not also from Kenya, but I'm going to do that as well. And any other that is not like Kenyan, but it's African and it's not South African or Nigerian. So I'm looking for those on Netflix, and then I'll do reviews on those, because the other movies that I found are the ones on on YouTube. There's this channel that has so many Kenyan movies, and I don't know if they're good or not, but I'm going to try in the future. I don't know when. I'm going to try one day and just sit through one of their movies and see if they're good. Because if they are, then I can be giving reviews of those and just tell you to go and watch them on YouTube, because there's so many. There's actually a channel that just has so many Kenyan movies. I'll try and watch one someday soon. But at least the next 2 Wednesdays, when I'm supposed to be watching Kenyan movies, I'll do Queen of Katwe and The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. I tried to find The Rise and Fall of Idi Amin, but I couldn't find it. I'll still try looking for it. And then I'll just try looking for any other East African movie for Kenyan Day. So stay tuned for that. So I'm going to go straight into today's movie because I do not want to take long doing this review. I want to take like 20-30 minutes max. So let's go. On today's episode, I'm going to be giving a review of the Kenyan movie Rafiki. Rafiki is a 2018 Kenya romantic drama written by Wanuri Kahiu, Jenna Kato-Baz, and Monica Arak-de-Nyeko. I hope that's how you say that name. And it's directed by Wanuri Kahiu. The cast members include Samantha Mugatsia, she plays Kena Mwaura, Sheila Munyiva plays Ziki Okemi, Nice Githinji plays Nduta, I hated her in this, Charlie Karumi plays Waireri, hated him too, Jimmy Gadhu plays John Mwaura, that is Kena's dad, Muthoni Gathecha plays Mama Atim, I hated her on this. I usually love her in the shows that she starred in. Hated her on this one. She was a terrible woman. Vitalis Waweru plays Tom. Nini Wasera plays Mercy, that is Kena's mom. Melen Aura plays Elizabeth. Patricia Kihoro plays Josephine. Patricia Amira plays Rose Okemi, that is Ziki's mom. Dennis Munyoka plays Peter Okemi, that is Ziki's dad. Neville Misati plays Blackstar, who is like Kena's BFF, amongst other cast members. Now, if you love spoilers like me, I'd urge you to continue with this. If you do not like spoilers, I don't know where I can guide you to go and watch this movie. It's online somewhere. Try looking for it online, because I'll not tell you where to go and watch it. Or go to these movie shops and ask if they can download it for you and you can buy it from them. look for it online because I found it online. That's why I watched it. And that's why I'm going to be watching a couple of the next movies that I'm going to be watching for Kenya. Because, Netflix just does not have this movie and a lot of other Kenyan movies. So go and look for it somewhere. But if you do not, I'll just tell you like the gist of it, and you can decide for yourself if it was okay for them to ban it or not. So I'll go back. If you love spoilers like me, I'll continue with this. If you do not like spoilers, leave now, go look for it, watch it, then come back and tell me if you agree with me or not, because this is official spoiler alert. Now, Rafiki follows these two teenagers who have just finished their Form 4, and their dads, they are trying to be the MCAs, or is it like MPs for that area where they live. And so these young girls, Kenna, she dresses like a tomboy and she's best friends with Blackstar. Blackstar is a Ndodi guy. So when we start the movie, she's coming to look for Blackstar at his place, and Blackstar was sort of dating Nduta, or they were having just a situationship. She's coming from his apartment and she's looking at Kenna like in a very, very terrible way, like na madharau. And so they start talking. That is Kenna and Blackstar, and they go somewhere. So Nduta, Mama Atim was her mom or something, but the Mama Atim owned like a kibandaski sort of, and Nduta worked there. So I'm not sure if they were mother and daughter or she was just working at Mama Atim's nini kibanda. So they go there and have soda and talk. Nduta is the one who's serving them, and she has an attitude on her. God, I didn't like her. I didn't. But anyway, they do that. And then there's this guy who walks by, that is Tom. And Waireri, who had joined Kenna and Blackstar, he started saying how he's gay and how he's an embarrassment to the society, to go to the church and stuff like that. Regular things that people say because they think they're better than people who are not like them. And so that becomes a thing. Because there's even another time he was seen like he was beaten up, and I think Waireri was part of it because he saw them and he laughed, and he was calling him the F word, he was calling him the S word, that is in Swahili, and all of these things, and it was just chaotic. But anyway, so while they're talking, there's this girl on the other side, that is Ziki. So Kenna keeps checking her out, and she keeps checking Kenna out. So they sort of know that they like each other. Remember, their dads are on opposing teams for the MP or MCA for that environment where they live. And so that continues while they're both doing their own things. Kenna's dad, that is John Maura, owns a duka, and so she usually goes and helps around there. So one time she's at the duka, she sees Ziki with her friends, and they remove one of the posters for Kenna's dad. And so Kenna starts running after them, but when the other girls like run away, Ziki stands and turns around to look at Kenna. So they just stare at each other. It was such a sweet moment. Like they were teens, so they just look at each other and smile and blush, and then she runs off with her friends. Later on, she's the one who comes back actually looking for her. While she's with her friends, she goes and joins Kenna, and they go and sit somewhere and start eating. So where they eat is at Mama Tim's. Like, I don't know why they were going there over and over again. And I don't even know why Kenna was friends with Blackstar and Waireri, because these people were just homophobes. I mean, so Blackstar had a crush on her actually, and so he always wanted to be with her and take her for rides on his motorbike and stuff. And for the most part, she used to entertain it because she just saw him as a friend, but he wanted more, even though he was sleeping around with Nduta. So they go and sit there, and people start noticing. That is, Nduta starts noticing, Mama Atim starts noticing, and they talk about it like these two girls from two different opposing, political families, they are friends, like, do their parents know? And so Kenna is going to visit her at her home, and the mom, Ziki's mom, welcomes her without knowing what is really happening, because she thought they were just friends. And Kenna's mom also goes like, yeah, I've seen you with Ziki. I've heard about it from Mama Team. You should invite her over. And so she comes one time and convinces her to be in a dress, and they go to church. That church, that pastor, the pastor was this guy who used to be a teacher on Tahiti High. I've forgotten the name that he used to use there. But the way he was talking in this one, oh, you should find it and watch it. It was just funny. But anyway, so the first sermon that they had at the church was good. But then this time he was talking about homosexuality and how it's a sin and how people should not entertain it, blah, 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 blah. And of course, the people who go to that church, the community eats it up. And while they're doing that, Ziki is trying to flirt with Kenna in church. But Kenna doesn't want that because it's in public and all of that, and so she goes outside. So anyway, through all of these things, they get to a point where they go, there's this like a van. It used to be somewhere hidden, and it was like Kenna's safety zone or something. So they go there, and I think they made love or something in there with candles and stuff. And I was like, oh my god, one of those candles might fall down, or you will throw your dress or something, and something will catch on fire. Why do you have live fire in such a tiny space? It's just not safe. But that did not happen. They spent the night there, and I think that's when the dad noticed them while she was taking her back home. The dad noticed, and he actually warned her to not be friends with her because of the political situation. That is Kenna's dad. But Kenna didn't listen, of course. So they try to stay away from each other, but because they know the repercussions of what is going to happen to them, because by this time they had seen what had happened to Tom, and they know how Waireri used to talk and how Blackstar used to talk and entertain whatever Waireri was saying. So anyway, I think after the fight at the church, yeah, Kenna was somewhere drinking water from like a tank somewhere, I don't know, in that estate of theirs. She was drinking water, and one of Ziki's friends comes and attacks her and tells her to stay away from Ziki and ask her if she's a lesbian or something, and just starts spewing nonsense. So of course she fights back. That is Kenna. And so she fights back, and they fight for a while before Ziki and the other friend, because there were three girls, that is Ziki and two of her friends. So they start fighting before Ziki and the other friend comes and separates them. And so she takes Kenna to her home, to Ziki's home, and she's helping her, because I mean that fight did not look like that bad. Like that fight did not look that bad, but she had a split lip and stuff, and I was like, why? How? Like she didn't even punch you that hard. That part I was like, this is not okay. This is not true. That fight did not look like it was that bad. And we didn't even see the other lady if she was hurt as well or not. But anyway, so she's taking care of her, and they start kissing there as well. When they're kissing, the mom walks in, that is Ziki's mom, and she yells at Kenna to leave. So she takes her phone, she wants to call Kenna's mom, who by the way was divorced from Kenna's dad, and Kenna's dad was it remarried or just doing a come stay thing with a lady called Josephine, that is Patricia Kihoro's character, and she was going to be giving birth to a son, which apparently was more important than Kenna and her being a woman. And yo, but anyway, so that moment she takes the phone and wants to call Kenna's mom to tell her what she has just walked into. But then the ladies, they somehow through her phone or something, they disrupted her somehow, and they ran away. And so they ran out, and they go past Mama Tim's kibanda, and they run to that van. So Nduta sees this, and she goes, those two ladies, the other friends, Ziki's friends, they were there. And I don't know, Nduta approaches them. She doesn't talk, but I think we were supposed to infer that they talked and said something behind, out of the shot or something. So later on, the girls are in that van, and they are talking, and I think they started kissing again. And when Mama Atim and Duta came and opened the door, they were like, they're here, come and get them. And so this group of men, they come and take them from that van, and Duta is also there, and she's also talking nonsense, and they start beating them up. Like, they actually beat the two girls up badly for being who they are. Like, it doesn't concern you, it doesn't hurt you in any way, my God. Anyway, so they do that, and Mama Tim is just standing there looking at them being beaten. And then they're taken to the police station as if they're the ones who did the wrong thing. The people who are beating them up, them, they walked scot-free. But these people, two women who were the victims, they were the ones at the police station. So Kenna's dad comes over and he wants to talk to the DCI. So he goes in, and these two policemen who are there, a woman and a man, they were making fun of them, asking them like, who is the man and who's the woman between the two of them in their relationship, which is just insane and so like insulting in so many different ways. And then Ziki's dad comes in and his mom, and he just slaps her. I'm like, yo. And he takes her and tells her, let's go. So the mom, the mom is trying to do that thing of like, I want to protect you, but I just need your dad to do whatever he's doing because he's mad. So they go to the car, and Kenna stands up and leaves the police station. The police is like, wait. He's calling after her, and she just walks off, goes to the car. Ziki's already in the car, and she tries to talk to her through the window, but then they drive off. So later on, we see Kenna's dad comes and hugs her. Like, I loved him, honestly. I loved him more than I loved the mom. That is Nini Wasera's character. I loved the dad more than loved the mom, because even though he had left, I sort of understood why he did. Because that woman, I do not mind people going to church. I do not mind people being religious. But there comes a time when there's a way you'll behave because of religion that I'll be like, now this is toxic. You see how there's toxic masculinity, there's toxic religion, whatever, beliefs or I don't know what. There's toxicity in that as well. Like, I do not mind. I am also a Christian. I love going to church. But I hear people talking a certain way, going against what the Bible is telling them, because the Bible preaches love. Jesus says, love your neighbor. I do not care. Well, is it Jesus or whatever? It's the Bible that says, love your neighbor as you love yourself, or whatever. Love your neighbor as Jesus loved the church, or love the children, or whatever. Do that. But then the way the mom behaved, because she was like, that daughter of ours has a demon in her. She was actually telling Kenna's dad, like, you want me to live with her and she has a demon in her, and blah, blah, blah. And Kenna is just crying because she couldn't believe this, But anyway, we switch to them in church, and they're praying for Kenna. People in church surrounding her, she's kneeling down on the floor, and people have hands over her, praying for her for the demon of lesbianism to leave. Hey. Yeah. People are wicked. Christians are wicked. But anyway, they do that. Of course, that it's not a demon. And anyway, she just entertains it because she wants to be okay with her mom. And so they go back home, and she tries to talk to the mom, and the mom does not want to talk to her. Like, she kept avoiding her. So anyway, she goes to look for Ziki at her home, and Ziki is being relocated to London by the dad because he wants to avoid whatever is happening between the two of them. And she is very furious, but she does that thing where, because you're upset of a particular thing and you cannot solve the situation that you are in, you push the other person away so that they don't get hurt eventually, although if they're still hurting at that moment. So he tells Kenna that she's leaving and she's not going to come back and stuff. So Kenna leaves, and she's also hurt. She goes away and she meets Blackstar, and he's like, come, I take you for a ride. And she's like, no, I love Ziki. And he's like, why? Like, why do you want to push away everybody that loves you? Like, I love you, and you just want this person. Like, why? For what purpose? Like, she didn't know what to say. So she goes and sits at this place, and Tom joins her, and they just stay there silently because they sort of understand that they're the only two ones who are in the same situation in that neighborhood. And then we skip to a couple of years later, Kenna is a doctor. She wanted to be a doctor, by the way. She had passed her Form 4 exams. She decided to be a doctor, and she was a doctor in this hospital. She goes into this room, and Mama Atim is there. And even after all those years, this woman is still so vile. Like, she starts talking nonsense, asking her, like, "Ukundo umekuja kujificha," and stuff like that. Like, and then she goes, like, "By the way, do you know that she's back? She's back at that place they used to live was called Skyview." So I think she was like, she's back at Skyview and stuff like that. And so she just listens to her talking, and she tells her, "Okay, if your assistants just turn, the bell is there, just ring it and somebody will be here to help you." Because that woman was like, "You cannot touch me, you're not going to touch me. I'll not allow you to do that." So she just walks off and goes back. I think she was already living someplace else or something like that, but she goes back to that estate where they used to live, and she's visiting her mom. She calls her mom. The mom does not say yes or anything. So she just gets into the house. She had bought a couple of fruits. She puts them in the kitchen, and then she leaves, goes and passes by Skyview Towers. That's where Ziki used to live. She passes by it. Like, at the gate, she stops and stares at the house, the apartments, so to see if she can see Ziki, and then she just walks off into this area that was just like, it was a garden or something, and she just stands there, and Ziki comes from behind, puts a hand on her shoulder, and she calls her name, and Kenna turns back, and that's where the movie ends, with her smiling. We don't see Ziki's face, we just see her hand, but it ends there. And it was such a simple movie, so beautiful. I don't know why whatever that film commission of Kenya was banned it in the first place. Actually they wanted it to be to the ending to be changed into a more remorseful one. Like, they wanted to have a bad ending so that it does not promote lesbianism. Hey, yeah. Like, because if you show people that two people from the same sex can be happy together, it means that you're promoting that. And we do not want our society to be rotten, even though it's rotten to the core. Sometimes I say, like, if these walls were opened at night, like if we all got X-ray visions at night and were able to see through the walls, and we saw the immorality that is happening in people's homes. Hey, of husbands leaving their wives in their bedrooms and going to the house girl's bedroom, of like the things that happen in homes. And then you call people who are grown-ups, who are consented to be together. You call that immorality. But a man leaving his wife and children and going outside there to perambulate with some 18-year-old college student, that is not immorality. Or you say it's immorality, but you're like, "Oh, hush, hush tones." Like, it's nonsense. So, yeah, that is Rafiki. I loved it. It was simple. It was like, it wasn't crazy as I thought that it was going to be. Because I remember I wanted to watch it in 2018, but when it was banned in Kenya, I don't know what happened. I just didn't look for it. And so all these years have passed, and now I was like, it was just the ban was overturned, and I was like, yeah, let me finally look for it and watch it. And I did, and I loved it. It was nice. It was simple. I did not see any encouragement of people being, forcing people to be together if they do not want to. But I'll say this: if you are a mother, if you're a father, and you do not want your child to see that at their tender age, do not show it to them. But as an adult, it's a movie that you can watch and you can actually enjoy, because it's simple and it's just nice. It doesn't have a lot of vituko. But yeah, I hated the way they beat up the girls, and everybody was, everybody took the thug's side instead of the girl's side, including Kenna's mom. Because I remember even Kenna's dad was like, instead of being upset with the people who attacked your daughter and almost killed her, you are attacking your own daughter because of what? And she was like, that's when she was like, your child has a demon or something like that in her. I was like, yo. And they prayed for the demons to go away. Oh my God. Like that, people are just crazy. And they kept saying they didn't want to be a typical Kenyan girl. Like, you just grow up and then you get married to a Kenyan man, and then you do everything that a Kenyan woman is supposed to do, because Kenyan men are very enraged when they hear that a Kenyan woman has decided to be married by somebody from outside Kenya, especially if it's a white man. Then you become a hoe, because how dare you leave Kenyan men who have raped, who have killed, who have like misused females fans, who have done so many tragic things to women in this country. But when a woman decides like, yeah, my type is not a Kenyan man, the Kenyan men become so offended and they think that, you are betraying them or something. So I don't know, it's just crazy. But anyway, I love the song that played at the end of it. I love the characters, and I love the chemistry between all the characters. Even Leombe and Uta and Mama Atim, their chemistry was good together, but I hated them. I did not like them at all. As I said, I love the music, and I don't know what part of Nairobi they were acting from, but I think a lot of movies, Kenyan movies, have been shot in that area. Is it Jericho? I don't know, somewhere. But it was a nice place. It was a nice area. I loved their acting. I loved the directing. I loved everything about the movie. As I said, it wasn't like a complicated one. It was simple, straight to the point. It told a story. It had a good ending, which is something that most LGBTQ plus movies do not get usually. So this one, the way it ended, it was good. So I don't know why, as I said, the Kenyan Film Commission or whatever, they were upset with it. But yeah, if you're into such kind of a movie, go look for it and watch it. I promise you, you'll like it. It's amazing. You'll love it. I'll give it a 6 out of 10, mostly because as much as I loved it, I know myself. I know what makes me go, oh my God, oh my God. And this did not do it for me, but it told a story. It told what it needed to tell. It was just simple, and that was it. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Please remember that I'm still baking. So if you want, make your orders. Follow me on Instagram and on TikTok, Mimi's Musings Podcast. Come back here. Tell me in the comment section below if you enjoyed this review or if you did not. If you have watched the movie, tell me about it and what your experience was, what you thought about it, and we can discuss it in the comment section down below. Remember to please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell notifications so that whenever I upload something new, you're going to be amongst the